So we'll just cover this. Okay. Now, so let's understand the sources of direct current. So one of the sources of direct current, we have cell. Now you must have seen cell used in like remote control or in your clock watches or okay. So there are cells. Now cell is a source of a direct current. Now what does a direct current mean? It means it's a current of constant magnitude in flowing in one direction. So basically, if you see, so this is my x and y axis. Okay. So DC current, direct current will be always be having a constant magnitude. The way we were saying, na, it's a constant velocity, uniform velocity. Similar way, direct current is a current of a constant magnitude flowing in one direction only. Okay. There is another type of current. I think you must be aware of it. That current is alternating current. And that alternating current is, okay, it's flowing in two directions. Okay. So this is the positive and this is the negative direction. Okay. And direct current is it is only flowing in one direction. So normally, the cell, it has two electrodes. Okay, one is positive and one is negative. Can you tell me what is the positive electrode? What is the name of positive electrode and the negative electrode? Are you aware of it? Positive electrode is called anode and negative electrode is called cathode. Okay. So normally we will be studying, but normally the current is flowing by convention of physics. The current is flowing from the positive to negative. Okay. And bulb is the load, okay, which is actually drawing the current from the cell. So remember, positive electrode is an anode and negative electrode is called cathode. Okay. Now, so what is a cell? What happens in the cell? Chemical energy changes into the electrical energy. Now there is a solution here. Solution means it is uh, like a sulfuric acid is there. Now that sulfuric acid gets converted into electrical energy because of some process happens. Okay. Now that is there in class 10. And after it converts to electrical energy, it sends current in the circuit. Okay. So cell basically it has electrodes, which we already spoke about, cathode and anode. And the solution which is there inside the cell is called electrolyte. Okay. So the solution which is actually getting converted to electrical energy, that is called electrolyte. Kind of cell, how many types of cells are there? Primary cell and secondary cell. Now basically the primary cell are called irreversible chemical reaction. Now you must be using some cell in your home like remote control, watches, clocks. Okay, so those cells are irreversible chemical reaction. Like once it gets over, okay, you cannot reuse it. So cells has to be discarded after the use when entire chemical energy has converted into the electrical energy. So these are use and throw types of cell and cannot be recharged. Now depending upon the material of electrode and electrolyte, okay, we have different types of cell: simple voltaic cell, Leclanche cell, Daniel cell, and dry cell. Dry cell is the cell which we use at household circuits. Now, there are certain cells which are called secondary cells or accumulators. Now, secondary cell is something which is providing the current similar way as a result of a chemical reaction. But now in this cells, the chemical reaction is reversible. So they can be recharged after use. Like for example, mobile batteries. You are always recharging it. Now the batteries used in car, okay, those are also secondary batteries because whenever you are driving the car, the battery is getting recharged. Okay. So after taking the electrolyte and electrodes in a vessel, the cell is first charged by connecting to a direct current source. So basically, in a secondary cell, you need to first charge it. Okay, you need to charge it. So automatically, the cell has to be charged first, and then you can use it for. Okay, so what happens during charging? The electrical energy changes into chemical energy. Then, when you are using the cell for sending the current, okay, that time the chemical energy changes into electrical energy. Now, these types of cell can be used for a very long period because they can be recharged again and again. Example is lead or acid accumulator or nickel or iron accumulator. Okay, they can provide low and high current. Both types of current they can provide. Okay, so we use lead accumulator in a car as it is capable of giving high current. Low current rechargeable cells are widely used in toys and mobile phones, which we are using. Now, secondary cells are also called as storage cells because they can actually um, store the charge for a longer time. So, what are the differences? Primary is irreversible, secondary is reversible. Primary may only we have one conversion, chemical to electrical, while in secondary you will be first converting the electrical to chemical. That means you have to first charge it, okay, using direct current, and then afterwards chemical energy gets converted into electrical energy when the current is drawn. You cannot recharge a primary cell, you can recharge a secondary cell. Its internal resistance is very high. We will be studying about internal resistance. So basically the current is very low because the resistance is very high, the current is low. So it is capable of giving weak current only. So clock doesn't need more current. Okay. Secondary cell internal resistance is low, therefore it can actually provide high current. It is heavy and costly. If you see the battery of car, it's very heavy. Okay. So it's a lead or acid accumulator or nickel ion, or you can say that as alkali accumulator or lithium hydrogen battery. Okay. Okay. So now whenever you rub two bodies, okay, they are getting charged due to transfer of electrons from one body to the other. The body gaining electrons become negatively charged. Why? Because electrons are negative. So when you have more electrons, that means that body is called negatively charged. And when the body tends to lose the electron, okay, so you say that body is positively charged, because when you lose electrons, okay, so you might have more protons, na? You have more protons. So therefore, you tend to say that body is positively charged. Now, positively charged body has a deficit of electrons, okay, while a negatively charged has an excess of electron. So these charges can be made to flow between them by suitable arrangement. So if you have two charged body and you are joining by a wire, so the body which is having more electrons, okay,
Will flow to the body having less electrons.
yes, so that flow of electrons actually is called electric current. So someone has excess electron and someone has deficit electron, there has to be some difference. Okay, so what is current? The rate of flow of charge gives the magnitude of current. Okay, so normally what is current? Rate of flow of charge across a cross section. Cross section means, now uh, this is the cross section. Cross section means is the wire. Okay, so this is a wire. So current is the rate of flow of charge across this cross section, normal to the direction of flow of current. Okay, now when you say current is a rate, rate means upon time, like in 1 second how many charges flowing. Okay, so current is charge. Okay, so if you presume the charge which is flowing is q, capital Q or small q, doesn't matter. Okay, upon time, that is called current. So current is represented by a capital I. Now current is a scalar quantity. We have already studied what is a scalar quantity. Okay, scalar quantity just shows the magnitude. It doesn't
The
have any
magnitude.
no direction. Okay, yes,
Hmm.
so it will not have positive and negative direction. Okay, yes, it is flowing from one place to another, but the direction is like, you know, you can say definite direction. So where whoever has excess electron will be flowing from there. Okay, so it doesn't matter. So it will never be like, you know, from deficit electron it will flow to excess side. No, it will not be that way. So current doesn't have any direction. Okay, now in metal or conductors, the current flows due to movement of electrons, while in electrolytes is the solution. So you can say acidified water. Like water, pure water is not like you cannot conduct electricity in that. So if you add little bit of acid like sulfuric acid, you actually can make it electrolyte, like you can make that electricity flows through it. So current flows due to the movement of both the positive and negative ions. So in any electrolyte, you will be having both cation and anion. Okay. Now, an electron carries a negative charge. The charge is 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulomb. Okay. So charge SI unit is coulomb. Okay. So if n electrons are passing in time t, okay. So what is the total charge flowing? One electron is 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19. So what will be the total charge? Total charge will be Q, that is N into E. Okay. And what will be the total current? The total current is Q upon T. So
Time. So N into E upon time.
yeah. Okay. Now in an electrolyte, we already spoke about positive ion, that is cation, and negative ions called as anion. Now in 1 second, if N1 positive ion carrying charge Q1, N1 is what? The number of positive
The
ions.
number.
Okay. And N2 is the negative ion, Q2, which is moving in opposite direction. So what will be the total current? Total current will be what? The positive ion quantity into the charge. Okay. And this is opposite direction. That is minus minus. It will get cancelled. Opposite direction matlab it is negative, going into the opposite direction. But the
Yes, ma'am.
charge of the ions is also negative. So minus minus will become positive. So therefore I will be N1 Q1. Q1 is the charge of the positive ion. Q2 is the charge of,
Q2 is the charge of the negative ion.
so I will be summation of it. Okay. So direction of current is taken positive in the direction of flow of positive ion and negative in the direction of flow of negative ions. Okay. But now this is flowing in the direction of positive ion, therefore it is positive. Now, we already spoke, the flow of electron is always from the body which has excess electron. Okay. And it flows from excess electron to the body which has deficit of electron. Now let's understand the conventional current and electronic current. Now conventionally, the direction of current is taken positive in the direction of flow of positive charge. Now I already mentioned that it will always, actually the current is flowing, it's not written there, just 1 second. Okay, so now this cell plus means what? That means it is having deficit of electron.
Positive.
Yeah, it
It is having deficit.
deficit of electron. And the negative means it is having excess of electron. Now if you ask me how does the electron flow, the electron will flow from negative to positive. Okay, but in physics conventionally, okay, we will be assuming, now this is an assumption, okay, this is not something which is happening practically. So we'll be assuming that current is flowing from positive to negative. Okay. Why we need to this? Okay, there is something. Huh. Now, if there are two vessels containing water, okay, they are at different levels are joined together. Now, water always flow from the vessel A, which is having higher level. You can see that, na? Okay. So,
Yes, ma'am.
in nature, okay, whoever has high pressure will always, like, it will be from higher to lower. Okay. So, always it is that way. So, that is one of the reason, like, for example, direction of heat. Okay. So, whoever has high temperature, the heat will be flowing from the high temperature body to low temperature body. Okay. So, just to be in sync with this convention, with the nature. So, in physics, current electricity, it has been decided, okay, that current will be flowing from positive to negative.
Negative.
Yeah, even though by practically it is actually flowing, the current is flowing from minus to plus, but here minus means some different thing. Minus means excess of electron, and positive means
And so excess of electrons, it will flow to
yes,
deficit of electrons.
yes. But by convention, we'll be always drawing the diagram that it is flowing from plus to minus. I hope you understood. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So that only it is written. The conventional current is a direction opposite to the direction of motion of electrons. So what is the current? Current formula, it is what? Rate of flow of charge, that is Q upon T. Unit will be unit of charge. What is unit? SI unit of charge is Coulomb. Spelling dekh lo.
Coulomb.
Yeah, SI unit is time is second. So SI
Second. So
unit
it
of
will come
current,
1 coulomb upon 1 second.
one, okay. So it is called
Ampere.
ampere. Yeah. And it is written in capital. Why? Because it is in person's name. Okay, so exam में आता है, what is 1 ampere? So if the rate of flow of charge is 1 coulomb per second, okay, then it is ampere. Now let's understand, in 1 coulomb how many electrons are flowing. So if you ask me, okay, now check this. Tell me, 1 electron is how much? 1.6 into 10 raised
To
to
10 raised to minus
19
19.
coulomb. Okay. So 1 coulomb, okay. So 1 coulomb, okay, will be how many electrons? कैसे करेंगे ये? 1 electron is this much coulomb. So 1 coulomb कितने electrons होंगे? So it will be 1 upon 1.6 into 10 raised to
Into 10 raised to
minus 19.
minus 19.
Okay, so when you do this, you will get this answer. 6.25 into 10 raised to 18 electrons. 10 raised to 18, we write it this way. So 10 raised to 18 electrons. Okay? Unitary method. We did unitary method. So 1 electron in 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulomb. So 1 coulomb कितने electrons होंगे? It is 1 upon 1.6. ठीक है? तो कितने हुए? 6.25 into 10 raised to 18 electrons. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Next is, you can actually have different unit also, but those unit are little bit like a smaller unit. So you can measure weak current. One is milliampere, that is 10 raised to minus 3 ampere, and one is microampere,
Microampere.
10 raised to minus 6.
10 raised to minus 6.
Okay. Symbols used in circuit. This is very simple. So there are two types of current sources
Ma'am,
already. Yes.
ma'am, here it's written that weak current is measured in that milliampere and
Yes.
microampere.
Yes. Yes.
So means we can measure weak current by any one of them.
Yeah. So basically, if it is a very, very small current, okay, which is like not noticeable so much, so that time the measurement is microampere. Very okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank
So,
you.
huh. Okay, so I already spoke about two types of current. One is the AC current. I already drawn the diagram. क्या है diagram? याद है ना? The diagram
Yes,
name
ma'am.
is okay.
Alternating
So it is
current
this
and
way. Yes.
direct current.
Yeah. So alternating current. Now AC source. Okay. So this is available in our house mains. Also, there is something called AC generator, which we'll be studying next year. AC generator is the inverter. If you have inverter at home, so you will understand. And direct current is cell or battery. Okay, we already spoke about. So purpose of the source of current is to supply electric current in the circuit. So in laboratory, okay, we have Leclanche cell. Now these are types of cells. Okay, so these are the cell, Leclanche cell. So images is there already. Storage cell, rheostat, resistance box, ammeter, voltmeter, galvanometer. We'll be studying. So there is a Daniel cell, lead accumulator are used. Now DC sources is represented by two vertical lines, which we already saw. Okay, one is the positive and one is the small one is negative. The shorter one is representing cathode. Cathode means negative. So you can have a shortcut. I'll give you a shortcut to remember. तो कैथोड को ऐसे याद रखते हैं NCR. ओके, सो NCR इज नेगेटिव, लिख के रख सकते हो कैथोड. एंड कैथोड में हमेशा रिडक्शन प्रोसेस होता है. एंड व्हाट अबाउट एनोड? तो इट्स अ पॉजिटिव एंड
PCR. PA.
हाँ ऑक्सीडेशन होता है. तो दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट विथ रिस्पेक्ट टू केमिस्ट्री. केमिस्ट्री में बहुत काम आएगा ये NCR एंड पाओ. ओके, तो ये ऐसे याद रख सकते हो. कैथोड इज ऑलवेज नेगेटिव एंड एनोड इज ऑलवेज पॉजिटिव. ओके, NCR एंड पाओ. सो नेगेटिव कैथोड होता है, एनोड पॉजिटिव होता है. तो करंट कहाँ से फ्लो होगा? इट विल बी फ्लोइंग फ्रॉम द पॉजिटिव टू नेगेटिव बाय कन्वेंशन. ओके, नाउ व्हाट इज अ बैटरी? बैटरी क्या होगा? ओके, जैसे यहाँ पे लिखा है when you join number of cells together in series, okay, the cathode of one cell is connected to anode of another cell to form a battery. बहुत सारे यदि तुमने सेल लगाए होंगे, okay, that is called battery. AC source is represented as a ये sine wave in a circle. ठीक है, sine curve है यहाँ पे within a circle. Okay, key, let's understand there are three types of key: plug key, switch or tapping key. Now plug key is a like if you can see when the key is open, you will not put that dot here. When the key is closed, the dot is put. Switch is like a switch, normal switch. You have switch, huh? And there is something called tapping key. So if I can show you some image, the real image, I will try to show you. Okay. So I think you understand how do you represent when the key is open, okay, and how do you represent when the key is closed. Key is closed, then you have to show it this way. And यहाँ पे there is a gap between the tapping and the key. यहाँ पे close कर दिया है. So when the key is key का significance क्या होता है? यहाँ पे लिखा है when the key is open, the circuit is incomplete. Therefore, it is called open circuit. When the key is closed, the current is flowing. Therefore, it is said to be closed. ठीक है? Tapping key is used. Tapping key is used when the current is momentarily needed in the circuit. मतलब थोड़ी देर के लिए चाहिए मुझे. Okay. Now this is something very very important. Positive ions, they are acting as a obstacle. Okay. So resistance is something obstacle offered by the conductor. So obstacle offered by the positive ion to the flow of current. So basically it is not allowing the current to flow properly. So that is called, we'll be studying our resistance in the next part. Let's understand the box. Okay, let's understand how do you represent a resistance. Now, resistant wire is generally made up from an alloy called manganese. Okay, and it has a fixed resistance. That means you don't have to change it. Okay, so what is manganese? Manganese is an alloy which is used for preparing wires in a resistance box and rheostat. It is composed of 84% copper and 12% manganese and 4% nickel. Okay. Okay. So normal resistance will be made up of an alloy, and the rheostat will be made up of like asbesto pipe, and there will be a jockey, which is actually measuring the, it's going to, so you can vary the resistance. So now I need 1 ohm, now I need 5 ohm. So you can actually vary the current. So normally when you are actually varying the resistance, you are also adjusting the magnitude of the current. Okay, you can actually adjust the current magnitude. क्या अभी ज्यादा करंट चाहिए या कम करंट चाहिए. So basically it is an enameled constant wire. Enameled मतलब क्यों? Like a plaster of Paris लगाते हैं, that is called. तो wire को तुमने plaster of Paris लगाया, so you don't get shock. Okay. Asbesto pipe fitted in an iron frame provided with a sliding, just 1 second, sliding contact on a brass rod. Now it has 3 terminals A, B and C, out of which 2 terminals are the end, and the third terminal is the connecting the jockey. Okay. The enamel of the brass rod wire is removed at the places where jockey touches the wire. Okay. It is just a coating, okay, over the wire. So wherever the jockey is touching, that time the enamel is removed. So the wire between 2 terminals. So if I don't change the jockey or anything, actually the wire between the two ends are providing a fixed resistance. So it, you can say मेरा fixed resistance of the कितना होगा? So 5 ohm. Okay. Now if you want to vary from 1 ohm to 5 ohm, you will be using terminal C. So basically if you want to, so when rheostat is used as fixed resistance, the connections are made with terminal A and B. Okay, so 2 wires होते हैं normally, तो दोनों वायर को, एक को A में लगा दिया, दूसरे को B में लगा दिया. But now if you want a varying resistance, for this connection will be made with the C terminal and either with A or B. ठीक है? The jockey connected to the middle can be slided, and by making its contact by different points, a variable resistance is open. So, so normally what you will be writing, the rheostat is providing a continuously varying resistance to adjust current of a desired value in the circuit. So you can write this as a function. Okay. Now symbol RH is used for variable resistance. Now if I attach the connection with A and B, then it will remain, the resistance will remain R. So how do you write the resistance? If you see, यहाँ पे ऐसे crooked lines दिख रहे हैं, that's called resistance. Now what about variable resistance? Okay, so if the connection is with A and C, okay, and rheostat के लिए हम RH लिखते हैं symbol, H छोटा है. यहाँ पे क्या है connection? Its connection is between B and C. तो यहाँ पे इससे अलग red करके रखा है. Doesn't matter. ठीक है, मतलब तुमको ऐसे coloring करने की जरूरत नहीं है. Okay. So resistant box is provided with several standard resistance 1, 2 to 5 ohm. So what is the unit of resistance? It is ohm. Okay.
Oh,
And it can be connected in series between the 2 terminals. Okay. So these things you have next year. You don't have to study now. So resistance can be connected in series and it can be connected in parallel also. So you don't have that much. So we are learning only the instruments this time. Okay, what is ammeter? Ammeter is an instrument which is used to measure the magnitude of the current flowing in the circuit. Like अभी तुमने पूछा था ना microampere or milliampere. So it is actually giving you the value, the numeric value. कि 1 ampere का है कि 0.1 ampere का है, that way. So normally ammeter is connected in series. Series का मतलब क्या है? Okay. The plus sign marked at one terminal. Okay, did I? No. Okay, the plus sign marked at one terminal of it indicates the current must enter it through this terminal. Okay, that means if you have this plus sign here, that means current is actually entering from this side. So the terminal is connected to the higher potential terminal of the current source. So ammeter must have very low resistance. Why? Because if you have low resistance, only then the current will flow. Okay, so it is actually showing a deflection. So if you see, we
From
already
low resistance,
means current
then
is high. You can have more current.
low resistance, then the circuit.
No, low resistance, that means current is flowing. Higher current can flow.
Okay, okay, ma'am.
Hmm. Voltmeter क्या है? It is used to measure the potential difference. Now I already told you, like something should be high and something should be low. Then only from high to low there will be some flow of charge. Okay. So voltmeter is actually measuring the potential difference. We are going to study about potential difference, but I already mentioned what is potential difference. It is something like someone has high potential and someone has low potential.
Has low, so the electrons will flow from
Yes.
high potential to low potential.
Yes, yes. So how do you, so voltmeter is represented by V. Now the plus sign again, it is indicating that current is flowing through that side. Okay, the terminal is connecting at a higher potential. So voltmeter should have high resistance. See why? Because voltmeter does not have to have the current, na? It doesn't have to measure the current. So voltmeter should have high resistance because I don't want any current to flow from that. Okay, so it will be just showing the potential difference. Okay, so which side has more potential difference? Like किसके पास मतलब एक एक साइड में एक बॉडी का 10 वोल्ट है तो दूसरी साइड में क्या है 0 वोल्ट तो बेसिकली फ्रॉम 10 वोल्ट टू 0 वोल्ट इट इज फ्लोइंग so it is actually showing the potential difference between the 2 points. Okay.
Ma'am,
Yes.
it flows until both the sides become equal, right?
Yes. Yes. Because if it becomes 0, the difference becomes 0. Okay, then what will happen? There will be no current flowing. Okay, so there has to be some difference. So whenever there is a difference between the potential of two sides, that time only we can have the current flowing. So if you ask me, वो जो cell का था plus or minus battery, in that cell, okay, this plus or minus, okay, so this is having 2 volt for example, and this is having 0 volt. Okay, when both the sides become same, okay, 0 0 हो जाता है या 2 2 हो जाता है, like when there is no difference left, current will not flow and it will become useless. The cell will become useless. Okay, so what is the voltmeter doing? It is actually telling you ki how much is the difference left. Okay, so difference, it is measuring difference. Now this is all okay, but I want to tell you how it is connected, very important. Now if you see, ammeter is connected in series matlab, okay, it will be like one by one, like the positive terminal of the cell is connected to the positive terminal of the ammeter. Okay, and the negative terminal, if you see, it is connected to the negative terminal. Similarly, voltmeter is connected in parallel. So this is my resistance, this is my load. Okay, this is drawing the current from the circuit, it is actually eating the current. So the voltmeter is actually going to be parallel to this. The voltmeter is never connected in series, it will never be connected in series. Okay, within that wire it will be always like you know ऐसे ऐसे दो wires होंगे जो ऐसे पकड़ के तुम लगाओगे, so it will be always in parallel shape. Okay, remember that. Okay.
Yes.
हाँ, so galvanometer, now galvanometer is something, it is actually basically giving you the direction as well as So basically, it is giving the direction as well as it is giving you the magnitude. Now, ammeter is only giving you the magnitude. It is not showing you that it is moving in the positive direction or the negative direction. Like in AC current. Okay, AC current में ऊपर से नीचे जा रहा है. So galvanometer is actually showing the plus or minus. Okay, so it's a deflection. ऐसे deflect करता रहता है. So it does not measure the magnitude of the current. Okay, so
It
basically
shows direction.
it shows direction and it will just show कि yes there is a current present or not. Okay, तो सोचो कोई अचानक किसी सर्किट ने करंट दिखाया, तो it is just measuring the weaker current which you cannot measure it with ammeter. weaker मतलब ये थोड़ा सा करंट आ रहा है इसमें, it is just measuring that detection. Okay, so this is also joined in circuit in series. Okay, and it can be represented by letter G enclosed in a circle. Okay, current can enter or leave through any of the terminal. So galvanometer does not have plus or minus sign. Okay, and it has a dial with zero mark. Okay, okay, heater को ऐसे draw कर सकते हो. They can ask you to draw the symbol. ठीक है, and it's represented as L. Connecting wires. So wires are something which is actually connecting the circuit. So various components you can actually connect. So wires are made with highly conducting metal. So can you tell me, should they have high resistance or low resistance?
Low.
Yeah, because you want the current to flow through them. So basically it is made up of copper and aluminum. Okay, so copper is actually providing negligible resistance, but copper is very costly. So normally we use aluminum. Okay, so aluminum is used because of the low cost. It can come as a exam point, matlab give reason. Okay, and does not change the resistance of the wire of the circuit. So connecting wire may be thick or it can be twisted together. You must have seen. Okay, so thick insulated copper wire as a connecting wire. Okay, so in a circuit diagram we will be just drawing like a line. So simple electric circuit. Now remember, if you want to have a closed circuit, please see the switch. It should not remain open. Okay, so this is a closed circuit. So this bulb is drawing the current and the current is flowing from plus to minus by convention. Okay, now in this we have, I already spoke about, now this is a closed key. This is a rheostat and the current is flowing from plus to minus. Voltmeter is attached. So this diagram is very important. Just एक बार draw कर लेना. Okay. Now take out the plug from the key. The circuit will be incomplete. The circuit will be incomplete. The bulb does not glow. And both ammeter and the voltmeter read zero because no current is flowing. Now when you insert the plug, what will happen? Circuit is completed. The bulb will glow. Ammeter will read the current. Voltmeter will read the potential difference. Okay. Now if you want to change the resistance, what will happen? The glow of the bulb will change. Okay, so it will be brighter or dimmer. As well as you can read the reading of ammeter and voltmeter. So on decreasing the resistance, what will happen? The current will be more. Hence the bulb glow will be increasing. Okay, so voltmeter and ammeter also readings will increase. Okay, now if you increase the resistance, what will happen? The glow of bulb will decrease. Hence the ammeter and voltmeter reading also will decrease.
Reduce.
Yes. Okay, now insulators and conductors. Insulator matlab the wood. Okay, so the substances which is not allowing the current to flow, so therefore they will be having very high resistance. Okay, and almost no.
And no free electrons.
Yes, so plastic, wood, paper, glass, leather, anything. But you know what, if you can what we need, if you have free electrons in those insulator, you can actually conduct electricity. ठीक है. तो तुमने थोड़ा टेम्परेचर बढ़ाया हो या यू कैन डू इट, इंसुलेटर से भी करंट पास होता है कभी।
नॉर्मल से चेंजेस किए तो हो सकता है।
यस। Conductors means you already know copper, aluminium, silver, iron, brass and steel. Now they have large number of free electrons and offer very small resistance in the path of the current. Now human body also, it is allowing the current to flow through it. So it is also a conductor. Impure water, I was already mentioning you that pure water is not a conductor of electricity. Impure water means acidulated water or acidified water. And mercury is also a conductor of electricity. Closed and open circuit, we already spoke about. What is the circuit? The path along which the current flows is a circuit. Now
Yes.
current will flow only when the circuit is complete. If the circuit is open, current does not flow. Now there is an experiment done here. If you see, okay, there is a metal wire connecting from plus to minus. The bulb is glowing. Okay. Now if the circuit is broken, what will happen? The bulb will not glow. Okay. And the third condition, that at one side of the bulb there is a metal wire connected and the other side there is a thread connected. Now this,
Means there is a conductor and insulator together.
yes, so the circuit is incomplete, so bulb will not glow. So normally what they do, they give you this type of pictures and they will ask you observation and what is the reason behind it. Okay, so I think you understood this.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, so do one thing, we will be doing this part little later. Okay, and also I'll be sharing you the question answers. Okay.